Daniel Bryan has been stripped of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Who will hold the title next at Money in the Bank? Plus, John Cena, the next member of The Shield? And why can't Roman cut a promo? That, plus we answer your questions and talk theme music right now on Rope Break Radio.
What's going on, Rope Breakers? I am still your host, AuSSy. They have not kicked me off the show yet, so I get to keep doing these things for you guys. And it's Rope Break Radio Episode 8, the 8th installment of our show. If you haven't listened to every single one of them, well then what the hell are you doing? They're all on YouTube or on our SoundCloud channel. That's right, if you remember, we were doing these on SoundCloud a while back, and they forced us out. They tried to charge us for this great podcast. If anything, we should be charging them to have my crystal clear, beautiful voice being broadcast on their garbage website. Anyways, we're on YouTube now. We're on RopeBreakWrestling.com, and we're here to talk past Monday night's Raw. We're going to answer your questions as usual. And if you're going, whoa, I want a question answered, all you have to do is wait for the post on our Facebook page and shoot us your questions. We got only 3 questions this week, which is, fine by me. Last week we had a much better turnout. We'll see if we can bring it back up or bring numbers back up next week, but glad to have you guys listening in this week. We've got a pretty good show going for you. We're going to talk about Raw, like I said, answer your questions, and then we're going to go over theme music. Kind of a big topic of discussion with new people in doing the theme music for WWE. We've seen some new theme songs for the NXT superstars, and now we're seeing new themes for guys like Cesaro and Seth Rollins. And we'll get, I kind of want to know what you guys think about the new themes, but of course, as always, I'm going to give you my input on those themes and what I think is the best scenario going forward for theme music. So let's get right into the Raw review. I gave the show a B- overall. Now, this is the past couple weeks we've been seeing people on both ends of the spectrum, and I said this last week on the podcast. Some people coming out saying, hey, that show was excellent. Excellent show, great show. Other people saying, this show sucked. It was terrible, couldn't keep me, and I was changing the channel. Well, if you were that disappointed with this episode of Raw, I'm really not sure what your expectations are or what they should be going forward, just because I feel like a lot of people are looking for a Raw after WrestleMania every single episode, when it's just not. It's just not going to happen. I think this past week here was a pretty good show building for next week. I think what should happen with Raws is they should steadily get better before the pay-per-view, and then the last Raw before the pay-per-view should be a blowout. So in other words, the go-home Raw should be the best one of the month and really get you pumped up for the pay-per-view. It's not going to be a A-plus show every single week, just like any other show that you watch. I mean, don't forget here, these guys are live, and they're trying to entertain you. Of course, there's things that we want to see that we're not going to see, blah, blah, blah. But whatever, I gave it a B-. So we'll go through kind of the big points on the show. We'll start off with Daniel Bryan getting stripped of the title by the Authority. I think if Daniel Bryan really is not cleared and really can't compete, I think this is the right move, obviously. Can't have the champion off TV for that long. I think a lot of people were pissed off the way it was kind of dragged out. But I'm not sure that I'm too upset with it, to be honest with you. I like the fact that they gave Daniel Bryan the chance there. And going forward, I think he will be back in the title picture. We've heard some rumors, which we will get into a little bit later. But I think Daniel Bryan's going to be okay. So everybody worried about him being stripped and possibly never being back in the title picture, being kind of like a one reign kind of guy like Chris Benoit, so to speak. I don't think that's going to happen to him, at least not yet. If he comes back and he's healthy and it's pretty quick, I think he'll be back in the title picture. I know they still want to do that match with Brock Lesnar, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Now, as far as the Money in the Bank match goes to determine the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion, we saw, the match kind of come to fruition this past Monday We now have, I believe it's 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have 4 participants in the match. Randy Orton, who was kind of just thrown in there as the authority figurehead. You've got Alberto Del Rio, that was in the match from last week when he defeated Dolph Ziggler. You got Cesaro, who defeated RVD. And then you got Sheamus, who defeated Bad News Barrett. Now, I like the fact that they're going to have a Money in the Bank match for the title. So far, I'm not impressed with the match itself. You're kind of used to seeing, I mean, last year we saw the Money in the Bank All-Stars match. Star-studded lineup for the match. This year, I'm kind of scratching my head already. I mean, Orton does make sense. Orton can perform in the ring with a ladder, whether you like him or not or think he's overrated. Randy Orton is a good performer, and he can do good things with the ladder in the ring. Now, Del Rio, probably the same. He's versatile enough to be able to work in the ring with the ladder, but I don't think he makes any sense for this match. We know he's not going to be winning the title. So, it's guys like that just don't make sense being in the match to me. I mean, why even throw a guy in there when you know he has 0 chance of winning? He's rumored to be leaving after his contract is up, so I'm not really sure what their, incentive by throwing Del Rio in that match is. Now, Cesaro obviously makes sense. Young up-and-comer, definitely a versatile guy in the ring. I think this could be a very big coming-out match for him if he puts on a good display. Sheamus, I'm okay with him being in there, but I don't think this match really suits him. As you saw last year, he had that debilitating injury in the Money in the Bank match, which, not to be terrible or anything, but I'm, kind of crossing my fingers. Maybe something like that happens again. I don't normally wish for people to get hurt, but Sheamus just is absolutely terrible to me. I guess, I do knock some people here and there, and, people will argue with me and say, oh, you're a Cena hater. I'm not a Cena hater. I am a Sheamus hater, though. I do not like anything that the guy does. I think his gimmick's terrible. I think his in-ring is terrible. I just think the guy is terrible and he doesn't belong in this match. Definitely not over Bad News Barrett. I think you could have really built Bad News Barrett as well. Get him in there and see what he can do with the ladder match. But then again, we've heard rumors that there might be another Money in the Bank ladder match, maybe for the briefcase. So it's quite possible that we see Barrett and some of the younger guys in there. Now, some of the rumored people to be the last 3 participants, if they're going with 7, which it looks like they are, the last 3 participants in the title Money in the Bank ladder match looks like it could be John Cena, Kane, and Bray Wyatt. And this is just, as far as a ladder match goes, it doesn't really make sense to me because we don't really have that many guys that are, wowers off of a ladder. You know what I mean? A guy like Seth Rollins, a guy like Dean Ambrose, or, even in the past, Edge, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, guys that were versatile in the ring, that could do different things, that could jump off the ladders. Jeff Hardy obviously comes to mind. But now you're going to throw Kane in there who can't do anything with a ladder. Let's just be honest. He does not belong in a ladder match. Bray Wyatt, we still haven't seen, maybe he can prove something, but he doesn't look like the type that would be suited for a ladder match. And then John Cena just isn't suited for a ladder match either. So possibly you're going into this Money in the Bank title match with Cena, Orton, Kane, Wyatt, Del Rio, Cesaro, and Sheamus. There's only one guy in there that I want to see with the strap at this point, and that's Antonio Cesaro, or Cesaro, whatever. Yes, I know that Bray Wyatt's worthy of a title. I just think he's more of a heavyweight title before WWE champion, in my opinion, for now. And of course, he's also a guy that doesn't really need a strap to be interesting and to be relevant. Kind of like The Undertaker has all these years. He doesn't need the belt to be in the main event, so to speak. And that's the way I feel about Bray Wyatt. His gimmick is good enough that he doesn't need a strap for him to be legitimate. Cesaro desperately needs something right now. He's grasping at straws, losing the momentum that he gained right after WrestleMania. So we'll see what they choose to do there, but hopefully it's not Sheamus or Del Rio. I could see them going with John Cena again, which would be a poor choice. It's just not smart. It's just really not smart to give a guy, 15th, 16th, 14th, or something like that title reign for no reason. There's not a reason to give him the strap right now. He cannot benefit from the strap. A guy like Cesaro could benefit from the strap right now. Now, it's possible that it will be a transitional champion because we're hearing that Daniel Bryan could be coming right back and snagging the title back so he could face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. That's possible. If it's going to be a transitional champion, I'd like to see it be Randy Orton. I know he just had a title reign, but he makes the most sense in there for a transitional champion to me. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Kane. Kane would probably be the best bet. If he wins the strap, you can continue his feud with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan can overcome, beat him. Kane can go off into retirement or whatever he's planning on doing. And then you can also have Daniel Bryan easily take the title back and face Brock Lesnar without anybody getting hurt as far as character goes. Now, I want to ask why Sheamus over Wade Barrett. And I'm asking you guys. I know we have some Sheamus fans out there. I want to know why you think it makes sense for Sheamus to be in there. He's already got the U.S. title. Now, I know Wade Barrett has the Intercontinental Championship, but why does it make sense for Sheamus to be in that match over Wade Barrett? I think that the title match, the title Money in the Bank ladder match, would have been more legitimate with Barrett in it. I know, I'm being a little bit biased because I don't really care for Sheamus, but I also think that the match could have done more for Barrett than it can do for Sheamus. So I want to know what you guys out there think. Of course, you can comment right below, or as always, tweet us at Rope Break Wrestling. Now, we're going to move on to the Shield's promos, and this is a big topic of discussion the past few days. And of course, everybody's buzzing about Dean Ambrose and Dean Ambrose's his promo that he cut on Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. Now, I thought it was a very good promo. I'm not quite as ecstatic or over the top as some of the other people out there are, ready to claim Dean Ambrose as the best mic guy in the business now. Not really sure I'm ready for that. There's still some mannerisms about him that I'm really not sure I like yet. I know he's going with the whole loose cannon, lunatic style gimmick, but I don't like little things like him tapping the microphone 150 times. I know that some people probably do love that, and I'm interested to hear your guys' take on it. But for me, I'm not sure I'm completely sold on that. The content of his promo was great. Everybody gets all excited because he's going to rearrange Seth Rollins' face. And I want to tell you that I think Seth Rollins cut a better promo, to be honest with you. I think it gets lost in the fact that, Ambrose is the face. Everybody's going to be cheering for Ambrose. And people already have this idea in their head that Ambrose is the best guy on the mic. He says a couple things about rearranging a face. I don't think it's necessarily better than what Seth Rollins had to say, which seemed a little more genuine and off the cuff to me. I could be wrong, and of course people are going to, reference that I'm a big Seth Rollins guy. I'm a big Dean Ambrose guy too. Don't get it twisted. I think both of them cut great promos on Monday night. I think that I liked Rollins a little bit better in that segment. And the real question here is, where the hell's Roman Reigns as far as mic skills go? Does he need a manager? I mean, I've heard people, people have asked us before, do you think Roman Reigns is going to need a talker behind him? Because he's just not cutting good promos. It's more like, I pick things up and put them down. Believe that and believe in the Shield. No, I'm not really sold by Roman Reigns' promos, and that's a big thing going forward. If he's going to be the top guy or whatever they're planning on having him do, he's got to either have a talker with him or he has to be a talker. Right now, he's got Ambrose as a talker with him, but once the Shield finally breaks up, goes their separate ways, what are they going to do with Roman Reigns? Because he needs to adapt his mic skills or he will perish. Now, as in regards to the Shield and, them possibly adding a third member, how many people were super excited when Super Cena came down to save the day? Apple juice! Cena saves the day once again, making the Shield look pretty weak against the Wyatts, and then Cena comes out, saves the day. The strong man, nothing can hold him down. He never gives up, and he's all about hustle, loyalty, and respect. And I know you're thinking, oh my God, this guy said he wasn't a Cena hater. It's hard to believe. It is not hard to believe. John Cena does not belong with the Shield. The Shield triple powerbombed him, destroyed him, cost him the title. Not really, but either way, Cena was destroyed on multiple occasions by the Shield. Now all of a sudden, he's forgotten it because he doesn't like the Wyatts either. So he's going to come out and, go for the greater good. I don't buy it. It's garbage. Throw it out. Get Cena out of there. Get him out of the title picture. Put him in with somebody that he can really help get over at this point. Unless he changes his character. And listen, he's not going to change his character into a Shield-style character because he just isn't like that. That's not the type of, superstar that Cena is. I was watching, what was I watching on the network? Oh, just last night, watching WrestleMania Rewind, the match between John Cena and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23. Right about that time, I still really liked John Cena. More of the chain gang soldier character, still had a little bit of a accent in his talk and was cocky, not humble. That's the issue, is now I think John Cena comes off too fake for me. I don't believe his character. Nobody is that good. Nobody always says exactly what the crowd wants to hear. So I think Cena could really benefit from even just stepping back a little bit into his past character, a little more nitty and gritty, camo, instead of white shirts that say, I'm the champ, blah, blah, blah. Go back to the chains or something. I don't know. I'm not asking for you to come out and rap, but I'm just asking for some kind of refresher. Because I do like John Cena. I do respect John Cena, and I do appreciate everything that John Cena has given to the WWE over the past 10, 11, 12 years. But he's got to refresh his character. Otherwise, people will remain disinterested. They won't want to watch John Cena. If he's in the title picture, people are not going to be happy. And it's not just me. If he's in the Shield, people are not going to be happy. What he needs to do, I'm not saying he needs to turn heel. Of course, turning heel would be huge for him. I don't see why he doesn't see it. I don't see why creative doesn't see it. Everybody references, Hogan turning heel in WCW, going with the NWO. I don't think it needs to be that dramatic. But you saw what it did for Hogan's career. It revitalized Hogan's character. It gave him at least another 5, 6, 7, 8 years of relevance onto his character. I shouldn't say 8 years because it wasn't anything close to 8 years, I don't think. But let's see. If he turned heel in, what was it, 97, I believe, 97 or 98. You had 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, we'll say, when he came into the WWE, where he was extremely relevant and people wanted to see Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Now, if he had never turned heel, he was already getting booed in WCW the same way that John Cena is getting booed now. Of course, there's still the little tykes out there that wore the Hulkamania gear and whatnot. But if he hadn't turned heel, he could have fizzled out and been done. Similar to the way, I hate to say it, but the Macho Man fizzled out. All the other guys there, all the other big guys of the late 80s, early 90s ended up fizzing out because what happens is if you don't refresh your character, people get sick of it and then they just move on. They move on to the next guy. So if Cena doesn't change his character up, there could be, a little bit of a growing problem, I should say, within the WWE universe. I know it's been this way for years, you know, half the crowd booing him, half the crowd cheering him, but I think now's the time. It really, really, really needs to happen. And of course, again, like I said, I want to hear what you guys think about that. If you want me to just stop bothering Cena, he tries his hardest. He does this, he does that. You're hating on John Cena. Well, let me know. If that's what you really feel, let me know. But do you think he belongs in the Shield? If you do, you're crazy. That's all I got to say. If you do, you're crazy. If you think he needs to strap again, you're crazy. Now, as far as the second Money in the Bank match goes, at the pay-per-view coming up on the 29th, I'm interested to see if they go through with this and who they have in it. I'm thinking they've got to have Wade Barrett. It's probably got to be in there. Probably Cody Rhodes, I would say. Maybe they throw Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, maybe even Roman Reigns in there. I'm interested again to see what you guys think. Who do you think should be in the second Money in the Bank ladder match if they do indeed have it? I wonder what they're going to do. If it really is for the future title match for the briefcase, I would love to see Seth Rollins win that, just because I think it would make sense for him to being able to carry around a briefcase with him as the heel in the suit. It all fits. I wouldn't be disappointed to see a guy like Cody Rhodes or Dolph Ziggler or even Wade Barrett win it, though. As long as it's a bunch of young guys and somebody gets a chance, I'm going to be excited about that match, even more so than I am for the title match. So, again, like I said, we want to know what you guys think about that. Tweet us at Rogue Wrestling. In regards to Money in the Bank, obviously, we talked about Daniel Bryan being stripped of the belt. Now a lot of people are saying he's set to return. People reporting online, he's going to return. Is it going to be at Money in the Bank, a surprise return? Is it going to be the next night on Raw? Is it going to be a couple more weeks down the road? But it looks like he's going to be thrust back into the championship picture, which really, really, really leads me to believe that they probably have Kane win this match, unless John Cena's in their ear saying, hey, I'd love another match with Daniel Bryan. I'll put him over. I'll put him over. We don't need to see that match. We've seen it before. Cena and Bryan still both faces, so it's kind of an odd matching, but I could see that happening as well. And then Orton as well, just being the authority figurehead, I could see him. And if they really want to turn Cesaro viciously heel, I would love to see him be a transitional champion and, you know, really be a heel character that Bryan chases after before SummerSlam. But we'll see. That remains to be seen, like I said. But if I had to bet my money right now, and we'll do the predictions podcast in 2 weeks, but if I had to bet my money right now, I'd say if they throw Kane in there, he's probably going to win the belt, even though it's really not a believable finish with Kane climbing the ladder and beating everybody else there in a ladder match. But we'll see. Again, one more time, I'll say it. Interested to hear what you guys think about it, who you think should win this strap at Money in the Bank, and who would be probably or potentially the best program for Daniel Bryan going forward. Now, time for that part of the podcast where we answer your questions. And if you're wondering how you can submit a question, like I said before, right on our Facebook page, Rope Break Wrestling, normally or right after every Monday Night Raw, I stick a tab to the top of our page and ask you guys to give us your questions. This week, we've got 3 guys that continue to submit questions every week. They continue to listen to the show. We really appreciate the support, guys. We're going to start off with the question from Pab Varela. And he asks, who will team up with Goldie next? Obviously referring to Goldust. I'm not sure. I like the little storyline that they've got going here with Goldust and Cody Rhodes. I'm wondering if it's going to lead to those two having a match, possibly at SummerSlam. I could see that happening. As far as who Goldust's next teammate is, I don't think it really even matters, to be honest, because I think that's what they're building for, is a match with Cody Rhodes at maybe SummerSlam. If I had to pick, you know, an intriguing teammate for Goldust next, how about this? Coming out of retirement, five-time Booker T. We all know that Booker T and Goldust had a pretty good program back in the day when Booker T first came into WWE in the early 2000s. I think those two had good chemistry together. I would like to see Booker T get in there for one match with Goldust as his partner. And then, you know, show Booker T's just a little too old or whatever. But I think that would be cool. A little bit of a mark out for some of the fans that remember those two being paired up back in the early Ruthless Aggression days. Next question comes from Brandon Manuel. He asks, do you think that WWE Creative should focus more on up-and-coming talents such as high flyers on the NXT roster, or should they keep having the same heavyweights compete month after month in the same storylines? Because I think we're all tired of Del Rio, Orton, Sheamus, and Cena. Well, to answer your first part of the question, yeah, we are. Most of us are tired of Del Rio, Orton, Sheamus, and Cena. I think the problem is, though, they bring legitimacy. They bring legitimacy to any feud. So if you've got a young guy like Cesaro in the match, if he can have a good showing against guys like Del Rio, Orton, Sheamus, and Cena, it does wonders for him. More so than if you had guys from NXT or, you know, smaller, high flyer, up-and-coming talent. You want to show that Cesaro, or whoever the young talent may be, in this case it is Cesaro, can really perform with those top-notch guys, not just being the best of the up-and-comers, but being the best of the best on the roster. So, yeah, we are tired of Del Rio, Orton, Sheamus, and Cena. Of course we are. Nobody wants to see any of those guys with the belt. Whoever, if one of those four wins, they will be booed out of the building regardless of face or heel. But I think it's right to have them in the feud with a guy like Cesaro, and maybe, hopefully, we get Wyatt or somebody else, another up-and-comer in that ladder match, and we see that. As far as high flyers and the NXT roster goes, those guys will have their time. They do still need a little bit of polishing. Guys like Tyler Breeze and Adrian Neville, they're close. They're close. They just need a little more polishing, a little more in-ring experience, and then I think they'll be up on the roster. Don't expect guys like that to be title picture guys right away, though. That is what kills a character. A guy like Del Rio and a guy like Sheamus both were thrust into the scene, forced down our throats, and within months had titles. And now you see where their characters are now. Nobody likes them. Yeah, sure, some kids like to wear the orange facial hair and pretend they're Sheamus, but honestly, there aren't many older fans out there that like either of those guys. Now, you also asked how Bray Wyatt would fit into the title equation. I think just being thrown into that ladder match alone would throw him into the title equation. Whether or not he wins it, like I said before, I don't think he's a guy that needs the title, but I think he definitely is worthy of it, and he could win it. And then from there, you've got a pretty good heel for Daniel Bryan to work with. The only thing is, I'd be worried because Daniel Bryan is supposed to be coming back and possibly winning the strap right back in his return match so he can face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So I'm not sure I'd like to see Bray Wyatt become a transitional champion and hold the strap for less than a month. But we'll see. Either way, I'll be happy with Bray Wyatt being in the match at all. Now, our final question of the week comes from Jose Alicea, who asks, do you think Roman will be a good fit as a Paul Heyman guy? After seeing his promo last night, he needs a good manager on the mic. Well, Jose, I do agree with you. He does need some kind of mic head. He needs somebody to do the talking for him, or he needs to just practice and do a better job himself. Do I think he'd be a good Paul Heyman guy? No. The reason being is because Paul Heyman has been oversaturated with clients lately. You've got, for a time there, he had CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Ryback, and Curtis Axel, 4 guys. Axel and Ryback obviously didn't work. CM Punk quit, and then he added Cesaro. So now he's got Lesnar and Cesaro. I like him at about 2 guys. Any more than that seems like it's a little bit too much, and he's doing a little bit of bouncing around. I liked it when it was Lesnar and Punk, and now I like it that it's Lesnar and Cesaro. I don't think that they should have Roman Reigns go with him. I think they're really building Roman Reigns, and I said it last week, the Roman Empire, they're looking for Roman Reigns to be that next big baby face. He's got the look. He's got the fans behind him right now. And I think he could be the next generation stud, superstar. You've got the genes, you got the connection to The Rock, whatever. He's a pretty face. He's a big body. I think he's going to be built to be a good guy, probably for most of his career. Of course, he's going to have, unless he's, John Cena, he's going to have a heel turn here and there. But I think Roman Reigns and the Roman Empire going forward will be a face one, and Paul Heyman does not fit that way. So I thank you guys for submitting your questions. Once again, you can ask us a question, get your name and question heard and answered on our podcast, which happens every week, just by going onto our Facebook page and waiting for that sticky note at the top of our page, asking you to ask us questions. Excuse me. Then you can go ahead and submit the question there. Or, as always, you can ask us questions every single day of the week on Twitter at Rope Break Wrestling. Now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to discuss theme music and the new themes that guys like Cesaro and Rollins have, who's behind those themes, and what we think about theme music going forward. Keep it locked. It's Rope Break Radio.
What's your WrestleMania dream match? Maybe it's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk, or the classic Sting versus The Undertaker. Whatever it may be, make your voice heard by voting in RopeBreakWrestling.com's WrestleMania Dream Card. Starting the night of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view match, you can vote for your favorite superstars of the past versus your favorite superstars of the present. What's the match you want to see the most? Let us know by voting. RopeBreakWrestling.com's WrestleMania Dream Card, where dreams become reality.
All right, we are back, Rope Breakers, after that quick little break regarding our WrestleMania Dream Card. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, you probably don't follow our Facebook page, so go ahead and like the page. And if you do like the page already and you still don't know what we're talking about, it's all those cool wallpapers that we've been posting regarding Dream WrestleMania matches. So we've got guys like Sting versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Like was said in the commercial there, we've got Stone Cold versus CM Punk, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, Edge versus Ambrose, and Rollins versus HBK. It should be fun, and we're going to decide once and for all what your WrestleMania dream match is, the top of the top. So look out for that. Like we said, it's going to be the night of Money in the Bank. We will release the first polls. So get excited. Don't get hype. Stay hyped. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about theme music, because it seems to be a pretty recurring theme now that we are seeing more and more guys, more and more up-and-coming talent getting new themes, whether it be on the NXT show or even on the main roster with guys like Rollins, which we heard on Monday night, and guys like Cesaro. The main point of discussion here is, not sure if many people are aware or not, but Jim Johnson is kind of slowly but surely taking a back seat in the WWE Music Group. We've got kind of a new composer or a new, artist making most of the music going forward now. Goes by the name of CFO $. I'm not sure exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced, if it's CFOs or whatever. I'm not sure if it's a band, if it's a girl, a guy, a composer, a singer, blah, blah, blah. Not sure. All I know is, so far, I've got mixed reviews for the new composing that's going on. Now, people might be saying, oh, I really loved Seth Rollins' song. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just, it doesn't feel like a wrestling theme song. It feels like a metal song. I know people compared it to this Fire Burn CM Punk's old song. Not necessarily sure I agree with that 100%. Even that had that beginning. And it seems like some of these new theme songs, it's more like people are really trying to get like a beginning and then a breakdown. If you notice with both Rollins and Cesaro's theme songs, they've got that the beginning and then it breaks down and then it starts again, And I feel like almost like they're trying too hard to make, something that's really flashy and it's really not working. But just to give CFOs, that's what I'm going to call them from here on out, CFOs, their credit. Some of your favorite current songs right now are not Jim Johnson songs. They are CFO's songs. For instance, Paige's theme song, Stars in the Night, that is a CFO's theme song. Other songs, Rebellion, the Ascension's theme song, that's a CFO song. Jack Swagger's theme, Patriot, is a CFO song. Adam Rose's theme song is a CFO song. Obviously, Cesaro and Rollins, if you like either of those. Curtis Axel's theme song was CFOs, and even though Curtis Axel kind of fell on his face and, wasn't anything great, I loved his theme song. Then you've also got Bad News Barrett's theme song is a CFO song, which I think is one of the best theme songs in the WWE right now. That with Paige's, Axel's, Jack Swagger's, those are some really great theme songs. Not to mention, they also do, or he, she, they, CFOs also does the theme song for NXT, Roar the Crowd, the main event theme song, and they've done songs in the past for like Night of Champions. They do Rusev's theme song. I think overall they're doing a pretty good job. I think they really dropped the ball with Cesaro's theme song. I don't like the siren at all. And that's kind of what I'm talking about in regards to the beginning piece and then it stops. It's kind of like they've got the siren going there and then suddenly it cuts out and you hear the rock theme start. And I almost feel like why not just go right with the rock theme to start and ditch the whole beginning piece there. Same with Seth Rollins. He's kind of got like a weird beginning there and then a pause in the music and then the heavier metal starts. It's almost like why not just start right with the heavier metal? But I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think as usual regarding this topic. This is kind of our topic of the week, so to speak. It's not, in with the Raw discussion. It's not in with the pay-per-view discussion. We're going to try and do something like this every week going forward on the podcast where we kind of think outside of the box or we'll think outside of the ropes. That's what we'll call it. Outside the ropes. And this week we're doing theme music. And I want to know what your favorite theme song is currently right now. And I want to know if you prefer Johnson or the new regime with CFOs. Obviously, Jim Johnson's responsible for the most iconic theme songs in WWE history. You got Glass Shatters, you've got The Undertaker, you got The Rock, you've got, pretty much you name it, Jim Johnson composed it, wrote it, performed it, whatever. So obviously, he's the God, he's Allah going forward. But right now, I want to know what you guys think of the new regime, the CFOs. You think they've done a good job, or are you like me? You think they've done good on some themes and not so good on others? Right now, the jury's still out on them for me. I really like Paige's theme song. I really like Swagger, Paige, Barrett, Axel. Those four theme songs are top notch for me. I'm still not sold on Cesaro, and I have to listen to Seth Rollins' new theme a couple times back before I can really make an educated opinion on it. But as far as it goes, as long as they keep bringing music like Paige and the other themes I mentioned, I'll be okay. If not, we're going to need Jim Johnston back in there quick. So that's the topic of discussion. That's the outside of the ropes discussion this week. CFOs versus Jim Johnson. We want to know what you think. Tweet us at Rope Break Wrestling. And of course, you can comment on the video on YouTube. We really appreciate it. If you like the show, please like, share, subscribe, help us spread the word. We're still a semi-new site here. We've only been around since January. We're growing pretty quickly, but we still need your guys' help on becoming the next big thing in WWE Online. So, with that being said, why not talk about giveaways for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view? That's right. If you're new, if you're a newbie here, which many of you aren't that listen, We do giveaways every single pay-per-view out of our own pocket. We pay for the prize. We pay to ship it to you. So you pay nothing. You win a free prize. So obviously, not every single giveaway is going to be top notch. We kind of, do what we can do, stay within our means, but we do give away at least one prize every single pay-per-view, and the song remains the same for this pay-per-view. At Money in the Bank, we will be giving away another prize, and we will announce what the prize is and how you can win it next week on this very podcast. That's the thing is, if you want to win the prize, you have to listen into the podcast, because we give out a secret passcode that you need to give to us during the pay-per-view, and only those that give us the secret passcode that listen to the podcast can win the prize. Otherwise, you're SOL, shit out of luck. You win nothing. You go home with your tail in between your legs and you cry and you cry and you cry. Either way, like I said, we've got another giveaway coming up for Money in the Bank, so 2 in 1 month here, and it's coming to you free from ropebreakwrestling.com. That has been this week's podcast. I thank you guys for tuning in, listening, sticking with me through the entire 40-something minutes that we've been together here. Thanks again for listening. Once again, if you dig it, like, share, subscribe, comment, just interact. Show your friends. Say, hey, listen, you hear that jackass from Rope Break Wrestling? He thinks Seth Rollins' promo was better than Dean Ambrose this past Monday. What an idiot. Tell your friends. Have them come on and trash talk me. I welcome it. I have no problem turning into the heel of this site here, and I like interaction in any form with you guys. This is a site and a podcast by the fans, for the fans. All together, we are the WWE Universe, and this is Rope Break Radio on ropebreakwrestling.com. Thanks again for listening in. I'm AuSSy. Until next week, if you smell what the Auss is cooking.
Rope Break Radio Podcast is a production of ropebreakwrestling.com. Check out the website and like the Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Rope Break Wrestling for all your WWE news and rumors.